Oh,
we are live.
Boom. There we go. There's the guy. I was in the chat. I was talking to the chat, man.
We're live.
We're live, baby.
Sorry about that, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is February 3rd, 2025. We are live on the Ango Show. I'm Ango. This is Billy TKO. Man, what a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What a weekend.
For sure.
And what's crazy, I don't know if you guys saw the fallout from Jey Uso winning.
Oh,
It's been crazy.
we got some things to talk about, Ango.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, my channel, Billy's channel.
Yep.
A lot of big things happening. Just a quick note, because obviously I have seen some people mention this. I'm not using my mic. I'm using a different mic right now. Got to get that mic connected to a new piece of hardware. Make it look all good and snazzy.
We're going to be back up and running completely.
But you know what's really cool, Billy? I haven't told you this.
What's that?
Starting, I think, Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
I want to say Wednesday. There is a chance it could start tomorrow, but starting Wednesday, we will be offering call-in super chats.
No way.
Yes, way.
Oh, we're doing call-ins?
Call-ins, baby.
Oh, dude, get out of here for real.
So what that means is when we start doing call-ins, some of you guys that hate my takes, you have the chance to fucking debate and yell at me,
baby.
Yell at Billy.
Oh,
yeah, this is good stuff. Obviously, a lot of big things coming to the channel. I'm super excited. Royal Rumble was this past weekend. Obviously, we shared our opinions on that, so that was pretty cool. There's been a lot of stories coming out post-Mania. One of them that seems to be really, really crazy to me is that there's some backstage issue with Drew McIntyre. A lot of people believe that it could be Drew McIntyre being pissed at Logan, but apparently reporters have come out and said that it's not Logan Paul. Nope. He didn't mess up. Then the word going around is that it might be LA Knight who kind of screwed things up for Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, and then Drew McIntyre's pissed about stuff. Lots to talk about.
A lot going on.
A lot to talk about. Guys, we have our super chat goal. As you can see in the chat, Tolino Channel already kicking things off today. He says, hope LA Knight doesn't get the Mr. Kennedy treatment. And that was the first thing I thought of here.
That was actually something I thought of too.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be the case. I definitely don't think that's going to be the case. But we'll talk more about it in today's stream. And then of course, WWE is going head to head with AEW on Wednesdays. We broke down the news,
from
the Royal Rumble stream, but we didn't really get to talk about it. I have my own opinions and analysis on it.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure, we will be discussing that. Billy, let me ask you a question.
Bring it on.
Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. We support it.
Yeah.
Did you expect the backlash that we have seen on social media?
Ango, here's the thing. I knew that some people were going to be upset. I knew some people were going to be angry. I knew some people were going to be mad. That happens. It happens with every single person that ever wins, right?
Yeah.
What I wasn't expecting was the hate. I don't think it is fair. I don't think it is correct that the hate that Jey Uso has received for winning the Royal Rumble is what he has gotten. I actually made a TikTok on this yesterday. I believe that people in pro wrestling, especially the IWC, right, refuse to have fun. We, as a community, are one of the worst marginalized communities. We have taken the fun out of wrestling because we take it a little too literal, right? Now, it is okay to have a diverse opinion. I want to make that clear. It is okay to feel you are a wrestling fan. You're allowed to do that. But one thing that I hope every single person watching this stream, wherever you're watching, remembers is that this, no matter what way you spin it, is for the kids. Jey Uso is somebody that the kids love, right? He's over. And not only do the kids love him, somebody like me loves him.
Yeah.
I want to see the guy succeed. So just, I don't think it's a problem of, having an opinion. I think the biggest problem is like, hey, I think the hate is not warranted right now.
Yeah. It's really interesting, and I definitely want to break this down even more specifically.
Yeah.
There is a lot of specifics we could get into with this, but it's like the best way to explain it is it just goes to show you how fickle the IWC truly is, right?
Yes.
Like let's kind of break this down for a second. So the reality is, like, Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
and the big thing that I see here, and this is where the IWC like genuinely bothers me.
Yeah.
Do people genuinely hate that Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble, or do they hate the fact that their favorite wrestler did not win the Royal Rumble?
They hate the fact that their favorite wrestler did.
Okay, so now let's turn the tide a little bit in this conversation.
Yeah.
LA Knight was at the height of his career, which I think you could still argue that he's still very, very, very extremely over. But when you see that LA Knight doesn't win Money in the Bank, or LA Knight doesn't win the Royal Rumble, LA Knight doesn't get a world championship, right?
Yeah.
And then people get mad at WWE and say, hey, you're not making stars. WWE, you're not listening to the fans. These are the same people that are bitching and complaining and moaning that Uso won.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm a huge LA Knight guy.
Same.
LA Knight guy. Very, very supportive of his career, what he's done in Impact and NWA, coming to NXT and coming to WWE, and really being the star that we all knew he could be, right?
Yeah.
Maybe WWE finally listened to the feedback and the criticism that, hey, we have missed opportunities in the past. We can't let this one go, especially with Jey Uso being the guy. Listen, I could sit here and argue for days that Jey Uso isn't maybe the most qualified in-ring wrestler to be a world champion. I do think he has to, if you really want to win everybody over, I do think he's going to have to do a little bit more than super kicks and spears. For sure. But he's not a bad in-ring worker. He's a very, very good gimmick.
Dude, for
he's
sure.
putting asses in seats. And on top of that, Billy, the thing that's getting ignored here that really pisses me off is that if you wanted LA Knight to win years ago, then you need to realize that Jey Uso's push and his like popularity and everything is extremely more than what LA Knight was.
For sure. And I think what people are failing to realize, right? Let me ask, this is a question for the chat. Did you guys hate when Kofi Kingston won? Sincerely. Were people upset when Kofi Kingston got the push that he got? Or did you feel that he had spent a long enough time in the company and he deserved it? Do you guys remember how big of a scenario that WrestleMania was? Do you remember that, Ango?
Yeah.
WrestleMania 35 is a very, very big WrestleMania at that time. Kofi Kingston had defeated a person, Daniel Bryan, who had kind of had a similar rise like that, right? Very similar. The fans very much got behind him.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the same exact thing here. All this shows is that WWE will 100% do something with you if you do everything to get over with the fans. Because I seen somebody say it in the chat. We make up, the IWC, make up 1%. And that's just the number that's being thrown out there. That's not nobody knows that's true. But it makes up a small percentage of what the actual fan base of pro wrestling is. And when I talk about pro wrestling, I'm not talking about AEW and I'm not talking about MLW. I'm only talking strictly about WWE. Yeah. Regardless of what we think, there is a community that don't watch me and Ango. There's not, I can name numerous names. They are just casual fans who watch to watch, and they watch to enjoy the show. Yeah. And those are the people who wanted Jey Uso to win the Royal Rumble. And guess what? They got it. The dude sells merchandise. He puts asses in seats. So for us to sit here and hate on something that is gradually going to evolve, and then, by the way, the hate is coming before we even know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We don't even know what it looks like yet.
Yeah.
We're just jumping and assuming that, he's going to go face Gunther, which, by the way, I actually have a different take.
What's your take? Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on, because you did not say this during the Royal Rumble post stream, so that's what I'm.
Yes, I had sat down. I had done some thinking over the weekend. Mm-hmm. I went down. I watched the media scrum, and I watched everything that took place at the media scrum, and I made a TikTok about it. I will say this. A lot of people will come at me and maybe think I'm delusional. And that's okay. I think what people are angry about is Jay facing Gunther again, because we've already seen it. A lot of people are mad at it. If you go back and you watch that media scrum, and I get it, a lot of people are under the belief that John Cena is actually going to be facing Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. He gets involved in there somehow, or he has the match with Logan Paul. What people are failing to think about and not realize is during that media scrum, John Cena said he's going to get his 17th title. He's entering the Elimination Chamber. Who was the last person that Jey Uso threw out of that Rumble? Pushed him out, shoved him out, whatever.
John Cena.
It was John Cena. John Cena finally says the word, I'm going to get 17. And he does it in a not John Cena's happy-go-lucky way.
Okay.
John Cena says it in a way that you're looking and you're like, oh, this guy's serious again. He says he's going to Hungary to film a movie, and he's given his opponents 1 month. Now, John Cena is saying that he's entering the Elimination Chamber because he now feels that is what's best for business. You want to know what else is best for business? John Cena versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania.
So John Cena, you're saying John Cena versus Cody like night one, and then...
No, I don't even think... I think we're missing the point with Cody.
Well, how does Cody drop the belt to John Cena? If John Cena wins Elimination Chamber, how does Cody drop the belt to John Cena?
I think they're going to do something along the lines in the Elimination Chamber where they have because again, we don't know what's happening. This is just my prediction. I believe that we're going to have an Elimination Chamber World Heavyweight Championship match.
Okay. That could make sense.
Yes.
Do I think your prediction is probable? In all honesty, no. Do I love the fantasy booking idea? I do. And the reason why I kind of like this fantasy booking is one of the things that I love here about this scenario.
Yeah.
4 years ago, we had Jay and Roman.
Yeah.
Obviously, I told you during the Rumble stream, and I've been telling you this for weeks now on the Ango show live. I've been saying Jey Uso world champion, Sami Zayn heel turn. There's the cinema. Yeah. I still 1,000,000% believe that's the move. I've been calling it for a long time. That's the move. However, what I do like about your fantasy booking, your little prediction, even though I don't think it's going to happen, I love the idea that you could circle back to Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns.
Yep. That's my thought process.
If Jey Uso beat John Cena, that would be crazy. I don't think it's happening. But I like it. I like fantasy booking.
A lot of people in the chat, they're all, Billy, you're crazy, whatever. I get it. But if I'm right, just know who said it first.
Well, that's the fun part about wrestling, though, right? Like, this is the thing. You fantasy book, you get different ideas. I still believe it's Jay versus Gunther, and I think that's why there's a lot of outrage. But I think wrestling fans genuinely don't hate the fact that Jey Uso won. Wrestling fans just have this thing, like, no matter who WWE picks, they got to be pissed about something.
Well, I think that's another thing too. It's like, okay, we're all mad about who won the Royal Rumble, dude.
Well, I'm not.
No, I'm not either. think about all the stories that genuinely came out of that Royal Rumble. What are we mad at? Are we just mad that your favorite wrestler didn't win?
Yeah, no, it's the fact that Jey Uso isn't an indie darling. It's Jey Uso. The IWC. Listen, you gotta think. This is like the IWC, these hardcore fans, they're like wrapped up in this whole thing where it's like you have to have been on the indies for 30 years and whatever. I don't know. The IWC is the biggest hypocrites in the fucking world. Let's just call it what it is. I'm not even gonna fucking bullshit anybody. If it was CM Punk, I'm telling you guys right now, people would have been pissed at CM Punk. They would have said that he politicked his way to the top. If it was Drew McIntyre, they probably would have respected a little bit because of the year that he had, but then they would have been like, "Ooh, Drew McIntyre versus Cody isn't big enough. Drew McIntyre, Gunther isn't good enough," because of the fact that it was such a star-studded thing.
Because they've already seen Drew McIntyre so much throughout the year.
Listen, it was the most star-studded Royal Rumble of all time, and everybody thought that one of those five guys, Cena, Rollins, Roman, they thought. Punk, Drew McIntyre, they thought those guys were for sure winning. WWE swerved everybody, and that's what made the moment so good. Do I think wrestling fans genuinely hate Jey Uso winning? No, because those people who are hating on Jey Uso winning truly aren't wrestling fans. Watch the fans' videos, 70,000 people. Yeet! That tells you everything you need to know. It's the dumbest catchphrase. It's the dumbest thing in the world. The gimmick is not something I'm like, ooh, I love it, but it works. It's got people over, just like, yeah. So at the end of the day, do people really hate that Jey Uso won? No, I think wrestling fans hate everything when it's not their way.
Right.
It's like it would have been the equivalent to me going live and be like, The Rock didn't come back at 31. Fuck this shit. Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, dude, it's just weird outrage. It's outrage that is unwarranted. It's unneeded. It's classless. Just let's be better, right? Let's enjoy pro wrestling. Let's let the stories play out, because let's think about it, right? What's one thing that we all want to see? Sami Zayn turning heel. Guess how he does it? Jey Uso. There's so many things that come out of this. You want to have a triple threat match between Punk, Rollins, and Roman. Guess what? You can get it. You want Cody to be thrown in there? Guess what? You can get it. You never know what's going to happen. Enjoy pro wrestling for what it is, man. This is an exciting time. I've seen a lot of people talking about like, oh, it's dead, da, da, da. Fuck that, dude. You're lying to yourself. Enjoy pro wrestling. Jey Uso won. Enjoy it. Yeet.
Someone that I love told me once, don't be bitter, just get better. And that's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. 100% right decision, hands down. People got to stop bullshitting and being fake mad, because that shit just don't work no more.
Nope. No.
Oh, crazy. We did get some
there
chats. Yeah.
I'm about to say they were rolling in.
Let's see what is happening here. D-Rec Tube dropped $2. He says Jey defenses will be more unpredictable. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like with Kofi Kingston winning the world championship, I think this is kind of like the same in the sense that like anytime the person defends it, you really just don't know if they're going to retain.
Right.
I think there is a really cool story arc too of Jey Uso winning the world championship and then being the guy that has a very short reign, and then a whole bunch of people telling him, hey, you're not good enough, man. Like, good job. You won the Royal Rumble and you won the world championship. But in this league of millions of top guys, like, you just weren't cut for it. And then imagine if they created a whole story for Jey Uso, if he's still on fire with the crowd, like him earning it back. Like,
and think about all the people that are going to be mad over the Roman situation.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of story with Jey Uso.
100%.
No matter what people want to believe, that guy has played a prominent role for the last 5 years in WWE. He deserves this.
What my favorite thing is when people were complaining about Jey Uso not beating Roman Reigns, and then he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to beat Roman Reigns, but
and 5 years later, dude's on fire. He's got the crowd over. He's won the Intercontinental Championship. He's still just a tag team guy.
Hey, would you put Travis Scott out to the ring with fucking Ludwig Kaiser?
No. Oh, God, no. I'm not letting 2 Chainz walk out there with Ludwig. I'm not letting him walk out there with Braun Breaker. You want to know who 2 Chainz is walking out there with?
No. Right? Exactly. Shout out to D-Rec 2 for the $2. We got 5 from Matt's Tube of You. He says, so many complaints over the years about young guys who are over but don't get the big spot. Now it's happened. What's the problem? Jey is over. Fickle, fake outrage, engagement farming.
Yep.
People thinking that they're smarter than everybody else. It would be different. Like if I was mad that Jey Uso lost, or if I was mad that Jey Uso won, and then I was like complaining about The Rock not showing up at 31, that's exactly the equivalent of what the IWC.
For sure.
They get really mad. They think they're so smart, and like they feel like, oh, that's not what I would do.
Right. And let's say personally, it's not a scenario that I would have gone with.
No, 100%, dude. 100%. I think me and you, honestly, we had this conversation in the predictions. Yeah. Like, as much as I hated how you booked your Royal Rumble, like from top to bottom, your Final Four made sense. I think my Final Four made a lot of sense.
Yes.
Like between the Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, like all that stuff. But those would have been scenarios where people would have liked it, but like they would have just been like, holy shit, it's fucking.
Guess what, dude? That's predictable.
Yeah, it's predictable. That's the reason why we were able to have such a thorough conversation on it. So I like the fact we got swerved. I like the fact that they did this. And, as a fucking mark, let me just say as a mark, my thing is I love being a mark.
Me too.
Billy, see, the thing I love about being a mark is that, well, I'm not the one sitting here complaining about something not happening. I'm sitting here complaining about everybody else complaining because they're complaining about shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Just stop the complaints, bro.
Shout out to Matt's Tube of You for the $5 super chat. 100% agree. Tolino Channel says Angry Drew is best for business. We're gonna get into this for sure.
We gotta have.
But just a little forewarning, Drew McIntyre did say himself, if it didn't come from Drew McIntyre on social media or on WWE programming, don't believe it.
You read.
Don't believe it. So we'll talk about that. Daniel Len dropping $1.99. He doesn't have a comment with his, unfortunately. But shout out to Daniel Len.
Shout out, Daniel.
Let's keep going. I feel like I'm missing one or two. Joseph Martin dropping $1.99. I don't see a comment on it.
Don't forget to leave your comments, man.
Yeah, don't forget to leave your guys' comments. What the hell?
Don't forget those. Those are important. That's why you do it.
Yeah. I was there. Got video of Jay's entrance. It was crazy. Andre Benson sent it to me on Twitter or Discord or something because I want to see some more fan. Some fan.
Yeah, the fan reactions and stuff.
It was sick, man. I mean, he's got the entrance. People say like, "Oh, he's got the entrance. He's got the catchphrase. He's got the gimmick." That's all it is. It's like, well, yeah, because at the end of the day, if he did fucking 20 moonsaults, like, I don't know what to say. Like, Will Ospreay is amazing. I think WWE would package Will Ospreay into a top star, right? I think that's a possibility. There's a difference between how WWE views talent and AEW views talent. WWE would have Will Ospreay lessen his moveset. They would restrict him a little bit, but it was charisma and stardom and everything.
Real assassin would mean something.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to make this about an AEW versus WWE thing, but it's to sell you guys on why Jey Uso is the way he is because whether or not he's a good wrestler doesn't really matter in this particular case because of the fact that he is selling tickets. He is getting people in there. And that's what matters. He's hype. He's there's a reason why he's going viral and there's a reason why WWE's putting him with celebrities.
For sure.
I think Michael in the chat, he's a little disappointed. He says he's mid. Sorry, no real charisma. Well, buddy, I don't know about you, and I'm not going to pocket watch you, but here's what I will say. WWE is not booking for the people that ain't spending money. So I can tell you right now, whether I like it or not, I didn't spend $30,000 for WrestleMania 41 tickets in Las Vegas. So guess what? WWE don't give a fuck about me. What they do give a fuck about is that person who is spending $30,000 on tickets for night 1 and night 2. So with that being said, am I WWE's clientele? No, because WWE at the end of the day is going to follow the money. That's what businesses do. And we live in a society where people hate businesses, but they love businesses when the businesses cater to them. But the problem is, would a business cater to somebody if it ain't making them money? No, because at the end of the day, businesses only care about making money. That's capitalism for you. So if businesses only care about making money, why the fuck would they care about what a whole bunch of little kids on social media have to say when they're not spending the money? Now, here's the thing. This is the difference. If WWE wasn't selling 60, 70,000 tickets to the Royal Rumble, and if Jey Uso wasn't getting a whole bunch of people in seats on Monday Night Raw, right? If this wasn't happening, then maybe WWE would listen to the random fucking people in the chat. Maybe they would listen to people like us. But guess what? We're not spending the fucking money.
No, we're not.
And as a business, you go after the people who spend the money. That's how it works. That's how it's always been. So at the end of the day, I love the IWC for being so fickle and so offended and so soft in these areas, because to me, it just reminds me that you're not the person they fucking care about anyways. So the only validity that you have in your life is what you're telling yourself. And that's fine. Personally speaking, I think it's hilarious that a lot of people will sit there in the chat and be like, they're marks.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's the point. We're fucking marks. We get to talk about wrestling. We do it for a living.
Shit.
Like, I don't know. To me, it's just fucking funny. And guess what? When something doesn't go my way or if something is not booked the way I like it, I don't sit here and fucking scream about it. I talk about why I don't like it because that's what my channel is. But at the end of the day, because that's what my channel is. You know, it's just my opinion. I'm not asking for WWE or AEW to do it for me. But guess what? I talk with my fucking eyes. If I don't like something about AEW, you think I'm watching? No. Do you think I'm buying AEW merch anymore?
Nope.
No. Do you think I'm spending money on AEW tickets anymore? No. Do you think I give a rat's ass about what Tony Khan puts on the fucking TV screen? No, because guess what? I invest with my eyes. I used to invest with my money. AEW lost me in 2021, so I said I was done with that.
Yep.
So guess what? Do I go to WWE shows? Sometimes. Do I buy WWE merch? Sometimes. But if I don't like exactly what WWE is doing, you think I'm going to go spend money to go to fucking Las Vegas for $30,000? Fuck no.
Apparently you're bad, bro.
No, I'm just having fun. You guys need to realize I'm standing up in my live streams. It's just a little bit more fun. If I was sitting down, you'd get bored like Ango.
Oh, nobody's mad, bro.
Shout out to Andre Benson for the $2 super chat. This is fun. I love getting hyped up. I should get hyped up more often.
Yeah, dude. Keep it going.
Myra dropping $9.99. She says, I've learned the IWC aren't the ones going to the shows, buying the merch, and the only currency they're spending is unnecessarily wasting their time being keyboard warriors.
Myra spitting facts.
That's true, though.
Look at the little keyboard warriors in here.
Nah, it's true, though. That's the thing, right? Like, the reality is, the truth is, this,
yep.
It's called a keyboard. And you could type. But whatever you're typing don't mean shit.
You're telling me, Ango, what comes off of this means nothing?
Just a bunch of little letters.
Oh my god. Believe that, bro.
Oh, yeah, fucking fatty. You just talk about wrestling, you mark. I'm mad at you. Yeah, you know, here's the thing. Myra is right. The IWC. Who the fuck gives a shit about them? We're in the IWC. I don't care if they book for me or not. The only difference is I'm going to talk about if I like it or if I don't. It's amazing. That's how it works.
It is.
That's how it works. The only currency is that they're spending is they're unnecessarily wasting their time being keyboard warriors.
Dude, there's people that just I seen one comment said, you know, people grow up past yeet. Yeah, later down the line, these kids are still kids. Let them be kids. Let them have fun.
A bunch of grown ass men, bro, that are acting like fucking kids. They're fucking they're fucking kids. They're grown ass men, but acting like kids.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking weird, dude. Just stop that shit, man.
Hey, listen,
fucking kids, dude.
The thing is, there's a lot of fake outrage.
Doesn't have to be champion for 12 years. Nobody's asking that.
A lot of fake outrage exists in the world of wrestling, and that's okay. I've learned this 10 years ago. I entertain it. I think it's funny to entertain it. I think it is absolutely funny, like listening to this shit and seeing the comments and stuff. Because there's a couple of reasons. One, I think the world has gone soft. I think especially in the IWC, a lot of people hate seeing people talk about the things that they like in a bad way. They hate the fact that there really doesn't, like, I understand that when I drop an opinion on wrestling, while it is really cool, Billy, it is cool. Let me mention this. It is cool that people show up and they agree and they love me for it and stuff. But there's also people that disagree and stuff. And to me, it's not about being agreed with.
Right.
It's not about to be. That's the cool part about having a community where we just talk about the things about what we like and what we dislike, and we're kind of civil with it. But you always have people out here in the IWC that are just so fucking angry. They're so angry.
Dude, it's so weird.
So angry.
It's like emotion has gone out the window. It's like it's just weird, unwanted hate. Like, dude, when I seen Jey Uso bring his son into the ring, I was like, yo, that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, you know. And listen. It's not even just about the Jey Uso thing.
No, dude, it's numerous things.
There's the thing is, you know, what I love about pro wrestling, right, is that people put it like this. There's Paul Levesque and Triple H, right? Triple H. And there's Tony Khan.
Facts.
One has to be right, one has to be wrong.
Facts.
Subjective. What you like and what you dislike is subjective, but one of them has to be right and one of them has to be wrong.
This is true.
You have to defend one. What? Why are we sitting here bullshitting? Why are we sitting here? It has to be one way or the other. Because it's weird, Billy. In 2021, people were telling me, shut the fuck up and just enjoy your wrestling. Now I'm enjoying my wrestling and people are fucking angry about it. People are mad.
They're angry.
They're angry.
You have a good time. They have a good time.
I could sit here and talk about this for days and for years. And
this is one of the biggest problems.
Hey, man, it's really big bummer because Jey Uso, dude, he's going to WrestleMania.
That guy won. Are you serious? Get out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just couldn't imagine like really being mad at other individuals because they don't like the same thing as me. But that's just what it is. Yeah. And listen, WWE is WWE is not perfect, obviously, but
no, dude, and that's where people are, I think, mistaken with what we're saying here. We're not saying WWE is perfect. Again, if you actually listen to some of the things that Ango and I say, you would know that, hey, we didn't necessarily agree with the decision. It's very simple.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
So therefore, I like it because it made sense. And it was a cool swerve. Would it have been my number one? No. Would it have been my number two? Absolutely not.
There were numerous names that I would have picked over Jey Uso, but guess what? I'm not mad at Jey Uso. I like Jey Uso.
Yeah.
I was excited when I watched Saturday Night Main Event. I thought that was a pretty decent match, but people will say I'm wrong because Jey Uso is mid and the dude can't wrestle. God forbid I enjoyed that wrestling match. God forbid the one thing that gets me... God forbid that I like the last 5 minutes of a wrestling match that get me excited when they're really getting into the emotion of it, thinking that Jey Uso's gonna win.
This is what it is, Billy. This is how it works. Just I pointed out because I like exposing the IWC for what it is.
For sure.
Vince McMahon isn't logical. He isn't logical. He isn't logical. He's insulting our intelligence. For the most part, fair. We need long-term stories. They just don't make sense. Okay, you finally get that.
Right.
They're not creating new stars, Billy. Billy, they're not creating new stars.
Hey, yo.
They're not
hey, bro.
Hey,
the new star, he sucks.
They're not pushing him. He's so popular. Hey. It's funny though because then they say they gotta take advantage. Okay, so they give you Jey Uso. Yeah. And they give you Jey Uso and then
Ango. I gotta go step away for 1 second.
Okay, that's cool. All
right, I'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Sorry guys, I gotta step away.
All right. But I think you guys get my point. I'm just obviously having fun. But the reality is, this is the reality that nobody's talking about. There's a lot of hypocrisy. And when you see the hypocrisy in the pro wrestling business, you just need to understand that it's because a lot of it is fake outrage. And that's what it is. That's what it's always going to be. I don't have to like something. Have a good poop, Billy. I should put that on the chat. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just really funny. There's a lot of hypocrisy within the wrestling business, and that's what we're seeing firsthand. And the truth is, like, you can't satisfy everybody. I think everybody knows this. But at the end of the day, you base your business based on those who are spending money. So, yeah, I think that's really important to mention. Shout out to Myra for the $9.99. Thank you, Myra. I spent a lot of time on that, just having fun, dude. Oh my God. Direct2 dropping $2. Would Roman become jealous of Jay? Bingo. That's kind of why I like Billy's fantasy booking for a second, because I thought about that for a second. I'm like, man, Billy Billy, like, as much as I don't like the idea of how they would get there, if Jey Uso were to win Cody's belt, you know, look, if Jey wins the championship, Sami Zayn's going to be jealous. If Jey wins the WWE championship, Roman would be jealous. There's storylines there. There's a storyline arc. So shout out to that. Thank you, DRecTube, for the $2. Appreciate you. Blino Channel dropping 200 rupees. WWE versus Dirt Sheets is interesting. Dave Meltzer, from our source, Pharaoh and Larry had backstage fight and R-Truth just feared for his life. SRS, from our source, they are super cool. I will never talk shit about Sean Ross Sapp. I think Sean does an exceptional job with his reporting, to be honest.
I'm back, brother.
There's a super chat right here, Billy. So WWE versus Dirt Sheets is interesting. Dave, from our source, Pharaoh and Larry had a backstage fight and R-Truth just feared for his life. SRS, from our source, they are super cool. This is hypothetical, like bullshit, sarcasm.
Yeah.
But basically what I'm saying is, like, when it comes to the Dirt Sheets, and this is one of the things, like, I talk about wrestling news every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, I do get some stuff from people within the industry.
Mm-hmm.
You got to verify there's a process and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times, especially years ago, where I reported first about Becky and Brock returning at SummerSlam.
For sure.
I remember coming out. Nobody had reported it. I reported it. Some people gave me credit. Some people didn't. That's how the internet works. It is what it is. So I've done a couple of these like scoops. I did some stuff with TNA, obviously, and some stuff with AEW, especially earlier on.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, Sean, for example, is probably one of the only guys that I feel like, if he is wrong, I feel like there's like a level of ownership to it. But for the most part, his accuracy is incredibly high. I think Dave and some of these other people, sometimes, man, they get fed the wrong information. I don't know if they don't verify it correctly. I don't know what it is. But I think sometimes they just have the tendency to put something out because it sounds good. Mm-hmm. I think Dave has been caught a couple times where he just said something. He was saying that Triple H was being planned for a match with The Rock or something. You see things like this, and ultimately when you see stuff like that, you just have to remember that, truth be told, like, it's who you give your money to. And I always say, whatever I talk about on the channel, you should always take with a grain of salt. This is my channel where I react to the latest in wrestling and news stories.
Yep.
Some people have good accuracy, some people don't. Sean has really good accuracy, though.
He does.
I think Sean does a really good job with the way he reports and the way they publish information. That doesn't mean I agree with things that Fightful says or the way Fightful does things, but when it comes to reporting specifically, I will always give Sean Ross his flowers. I think SRS is one of the best at it, and that's definitely...
The man knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. Tolino Channel dropping another super chat. When DP won Money in the Bank, everybody said he is not ready. Now he is over. Believe in Jay and let him succeed. Exactly.
Easy.
Better for him to win the Royal Rumble as a babyface than to win Money in the Bank and cash in as a babyface as well.
Right.
Definitely agree with that. I know there's more super chats. I'm trying to get to them.
Boom.
David Primero dropping $4.99. He says, I'm so mad Charlotte winning. She may be good, but don't you think without that last name, she'll get pushed? She'll get a push or be 14-time world champ. It's okay if she's only 5-time champ. Billy, I'm going to let you go off on this. I will be right back momentarily, okay?
All right, so look, I would actually agree. I was not a big fan of Charlotte winning. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Charlotte winning to me felt like how can I put it? It felt like the right decision when it came down to a protected booking standpoint. WWE felt like they were doing the right thing by letting Charlotte win. I think they want to make that match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair because let's be real here, that on paper doesn't sound like a bad match. Is it something that I'm completely interested in? No, but again, I think that goes back to kind of what me and Ango talked about on the post show that we did the other day, where Ango had kind of brought it to our attention to maybe having one of the women's matches main event. I don't know if the women necessarily have the story right now to main event. I don't like Charlotte winning. I don't think that was the person that I would have booked. Now, I will say this. I really like the showing that Roxanne Perez had in that Royal Rumble because let's be real here, her being in the final two, going one up against Charlotte, it kind of shows you how high they are on Roxanne Perez. So I was a fan of that. But ultimately, Charlotte... that felt like the protected decision. She may be good, but don't you think without the last name, she will get pushed or be a 14-time champ? Isn't she a 15-time champ? Am I crazy, guys? Isn't Charlotte a 15-time champ right now? Isn't she fighting down number 16? Because if that is the case, listen, when somebody has that kind of build and they look the way that they look, I think WWE, no matter what, they're always going to kind of give that person a little more credibility. And Charlotte, let's be real here, does have the last name, and without that last name, I mean, maybe she doesn't get that push, but I think the physique and everything like that, they love that. Okay, it is 14. It is 14, so she's chasing down 15. Charlotte, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of different ones. Io or Bianca should have won the women's Rumble. Yeah, I was actually I was pulling for somebody like Bianca or Io. I know I had Becky in my prediction. Obviously, we didn't see Becky, but I was either I wanted Bianca to win because I think her and Rhea Ripley is something that you can get that would be fucking amazing. Let's be real here. But David, to answer more of your question, I don't know that with the last name she continues on and maybe has the reign that she has. I think they love the physique of her too. She's definitely Ango kind of talked about it. She's the Roman Reigns of that women's division. And that's just the truth, right? She is the Roman Reigns of that division, and that division doesn't have that. She is the queen. She is the standard. And that's what we're looking for at all times. So her being a 14-time champion, what can you do? You know what I mean? Would Charlotte want to be on SmackDown? Oh, goodness. Bayley versus Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania. What do I think? David, I think you'll probably see that match at Stand and Deliver, and after Stand and Deliver, you'll see Roxanne go up. That's just my personal thought. I think they're telling that story over on NXT right now. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's showbiz. The WWE showed a lot of faith in Io to anchor the Rumble. They really did. I actually called it. I kind of figured that Io was going to start that Rumble off just because I think WWE wanted to showcase exactly what she could do. And they did just that. The Charlotte hate is rage bait. She's better in the ring than most men. Hey, that's fair. I agree. Bayley has no momentum. Agree to disagree. Showbiz, you got to give your props to Roxanne, though. Yeah, no, for sure. Roxanne deserves her flowers, man. She does. She had a really good showing in that. A really good showing. Mike says, as of February 2025, Charlotte Flair has won a total of 17 championships in WWE. This includes 14 women's world championships. Okay, so she is a 14-time champion, chasing down the 16th. Io is a ring general. Hell yeah. Io is a ring general, man. Listen, she's special, dude. She really is. I love that women's in-ring work. Yeah, and they had a really good showing in that Rumble. A lot of them did. Where's Jordan going to go? NXT, Raw, or SmackDown? I think she'll go to NXT. That's just me. I mean, maybe they put her on the main roster, but I know that they were doing something along the lines. It looked like they were trying to tell a NXT storyline. So I think that potentially you could have her do something down in NXT, eventually let her get called up. I mean, you could put her anywhere and she'll do like amazing. Let's be real here. It's Jordan Grace. But hey, David says, I heard Roxanne is main roster bound. Yeah, there's a chance. And they could do her and Bayley at WrestleMania. But right now, from what I see, it looks like they are doing it over on NXT right now. And then they'll probably let her finish up at Stand and Deliver. Bonkers, definitely main roster. Yeah, try. Sure. Io Sky is the ace in the WWE. Yeah, she's amazing. You're going to probably see JG and Roxanne in the chamber. Ooh. Just in the universe. Maybe. I'd like to see that. I'd be a fan of it. I'd watch it. Guys, real fast. Oh, here's my guy. He's back.
Say what you were going to say.
No, I was going to tell everybody to like the stream.
Tell them.
Hey, guys. If you're new here, definitely be sure to like this stream. And definitely be sure to subscribe to the channel, man. Because you see what we're doing over here. Come on.
Hey, what else would you be doing at this time slot? What else would you be doing?
I hope everybody's eating a wonderful lunch right now. I hope they're watching us eating a wonderful lunch. Maybe on their lunch break at work. Hopefully we can ease some of that lunch break for you guys.
Yeah.
Take a little bit of that stress away from work.
I wanted to address one thing in the super chat.
Yeah.
I understand why people are mad at Charlotte winning. And David, I'm not saying you specifically, but I have seen quite a few people who said that WWE should have had Roxanne win or a new star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just noticed that some of those people who were tweeting that were very disappointed that Jey Uso won the men's Royal Rumble. So it comes down to a personal liking of people. That's what it is. It's not
For sure.
That's why people are hypocrites, because they shoot with what they like more. They don't genuinely believe a new star should be made. They only believe it should be a new star if it's the one that they specifically choose. But Charlotte winning was the vet move. Do I agree with it? No, I said it in my predictions. That's not what I want to happen, but obviously I predicted correctly. But I just want to make that point that, Roxanne looked really good in the Rumble. Julia, Stephanie Vicker looked really good in the Rumble. There's going to be a time when both of those ladies are multiple-time Royal Rumble winners.
Yeah.
But Charlotte winning makes the most sense for the women's division. Billy pointed to it. We addressed it before.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many major stories in the women's division compared to the men's.
No.
Shout out to David Primero for the super chat, and thank you, Billy, for holding it down. Of course, I appreciate you. Was there more super chats, or did I miss any?
There might have been some.
Nope, it looks like that was it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Time to put the standing desk down and get serious, Billy.
Let's talk, brother.
It's time to get serious. As the standing table just starts going down. It just
are you going down? Oh yeah, you're going down.
We got a super chat.
That boy Tolino channel.
He's back with another one, ladies and gentlemen. He says, imagine KO coming back and begins anti-WWE gimmick. I didn't put this down all the way.
Yeah, bro. I was like, why are we so much taller than you?
That was a botch. He says, okay.
Hey, dude, welcome back.
Gotta put it up a little bit more. All right. Imagine KO coming back and begins anti-WWE gimmick where he says he doesn't get the respect he deserves and hints at joining his friends in AEW. Missing those one man versus corporate storylines. Yeah. Well, we know that Kevin Owens is staying in WWE. We know that he's re-signed with the company, so we do have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I think it would be a fun storyline. I always love the anti-corporate storylines.
Those stories are always super easy to tell.
Kevin Owens would be perfect for it.
Right.
After the way he lost at Royal Rumble, I think we're going to be waiting for him to come back. I think they're going to sell it a little bit. So if they were to do this, I think they have to 100% be committed to putting the belt on Kevin Owens.
For sure.
So what I would say is I like this idea, but the only way they could do it is if Kevin Owens won Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Kevin Owens would have to win Money in the Bank, and I'll give you the roadmap. If you really want to do it, if you really want to do that, Jey Uso wins the world title at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn turns heel, eventually beats him at, let's say, SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then you go into Kevin Owens being Money in the Bank and goes after Sami.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your year feud. Sami becomes the savior of WWE and Kevin Owens is anti-WWE. That could work.
That's a good. Hey, I like that.
There is some potential with that.
For sure.
Shout out to Tolino channel for the super chat. Let's talk about this backstage heat. Backstage
conversation about it.
This is interesting stuff.
Drew McIntyre, man, not happy.
Yeah, he stormed out of the Royal Rumble. He was pissed.
That's what they're saying, dude.
So I'm just being funny. So there was a report that after Drew McIntyre was eliminated, he was really pissed off. He stormed out. He was yelling backstage. He was screaming and cursing, at least according to PW Insider.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had to get their moves in at the expense of the number of stories in the match. He basically stormed out of the building and was gone well before the Rumble match ended.
Yep.
And the word going around is that it had to do with LA Knight.
Yes. I heard him and Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul and LA Knight seem to be the people that a lot of people are pointing to. Fightful has reported that it is true, like he did storm out.
Mm-hmm. I also heard somebody had yelled, "He's working."
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's a work.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a work too.
Drew said it himself, man. Like he's look how good he has become in this character. He loves swerving everybody. He loves fucking with the dirt sheets.
And then, you ready for this?
Yeah.
The argument is that he was upset because it made his elimination look flawed.
Yeah.
And people were arguing about the Damian Priest and him and whoever that situation. Maybe you have LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, right? Now you can do that. Because here's the thing is we looked at that. Everybody's saying, oh, that's flawed. Well, is it really flawed if we're sitting here having a conversation about it?
Yeah.
Is it really a problem?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think
it's working.
I think it's 100% of work. To be honest, I think everything with him is 100% of work.
For sure.
So
too.
I never believe I never believe any of those things. I will say though, let's say it's not a work. I think that's where it becomes really good TV. And the thing is, Drew McIntyre is the ultimate professional. He shows up and he does his thing.
Mm-hmm.
If LA Knight and Logan Paul were the reason for it, I get it. I mean, I get the frustration because Damian Priest eliminating him definitely didn't like. I don't know.
It didn't look like I totally forgot it happened.
No, for sure. It was a very, very underwhelming elimination.
Yeah, like it was underwhelming. I will say that. If that was the feud you were going to go with.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't have a problem with them feuding. It's just a mid-level feud. You would think after the year that Drew McIntyre had, he would be gunning for the world championship or maybe Roman or something. And I think that's probably the big thing here is like he didn't go after Roman, but they kind of teased him face to face with Roman a little bit in the Rumble. So, look, massive backstage drama. Drew McIntyre is obviously furious. Drew is an exceptional character. He said it himself. I said it earlier in the stream. If it didn't come from his mouth or from his social media channels, don't believe it. And I'm gonna take his word for it. I think they love swerving the IWC when it comes to Drew and Kevin Owens. Those are the two guys where I feel like there's reports about them where they do it to kind of blend in with the character and the stuff that's happening on TV. Yeah, could there be some frustration from Drew? Like legitimately, for sure. Who wouldn't be?
Yeah.
It's
just natural.
Yeah, but like LA Knight and that whole elimination, that whole thing was weird. So like it makes sense, But do I think this is do I think this is the same thing as like legitimate beef, legitimate issues? No.
No, I don't either.
How many times have we heard about some legitimate beef backstage with WWE and none of it was true?
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, and especially with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre just signed a big-ass deal, too.
Drew and Punk, they can't stand each other backstage. They have issues. Brother, they go out there and put one of the best fucking Hell in a Cell matches ever. So, yeah, to me, I don't think that's really acceptable. I think it's funny, for sure, but I don't know. Like, to me, it's just not really that big of a deal. I don't know.
No, it's goofy stuff. I mean, hey, listen, it just shows that the IWC, and if it is true, damn shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But something tells me it's not true, and it's just showing how gullible people are.
Well, that's why the IWC, that's like I say, take things with a grain of salt.
Yes,
they need to definitely take things with a grain of salt, and
you always should.
Yeah.
Stuff.
There was a first-time super chat from Russell Cummins.
Well,
$5, first time ever on the channel. Let's give Russell a round of applause. Clapping emojis in the chat.
Let's go, Russell.
Super chat. Shout to Russell. He says Charlotte versus Stratton at WrestleMania 41. Charlotte loses and announces retirement. As much as I hate to say this, I think Charlotte wins.
Yeah, so do I.
And I think they build up a trilogy between Stratton and Charlotte. I think
it helps Stratton look really good too.
And Stratton's got to be a baby face. Like, look at the reactions she's getting. She has to be.
They love her.
Yeah, the crowd loves her. It's hard. You try to force the heel persona on somebody that the crowd loves. You have to, and the thing is, people hate Charlotte. So maybe we get a double turn on SmackDown or something like that. But 1,000,000% though, I don't think Charlotte will announce retirement.
No.
Just a quick little thing. We don't talk about people's personal lives, but it has been brought up in the chat 100 times today. TMZ and all the dirt sheets have reported that as of October, Charlotte and Andrade got divorced.
That's their life. Let them do this thing, man.
So some people are wondering, the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because some people are wondering if that means Charlotte would be moved to Raw because Andrade's on SmackDown. Now, Billy, I'm going to pose the question. Would you rather see Stratton versus Charlotte, or would you rather see Charlotte versus Rhea?
I don't want to see Rhea and Charlotte again. I want to see Stratton and Charlotte. Would I be okay with Rhea and Charlotte? Yeah, I'd be okay with it. I know they've put on good matches. You know what I mean?
Was it WrestleMania 36 where they had that banger?
39.
39?
Yeah, it was for the NXT title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my true assumption is that my true guess is that they do still go with her and Tiffany. I think you can't miss out on that. And here's the thing. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Whether they got divorced or not, I think you're at work.
Yeah.
And you're working. And hey, look, when you're at work, guess what you got to do?
Work. What a crazy concept, Billy. Oh my God. That was some really good, like, A+ tier analysis. But hey, you know damn well somebody's watching the show right now at work and they're not working.
Hey, get to work.
Nah. Accept your write-up because you're watching the Ango show.
Somebody said it was 36. Oh, Trey said it was WrestleMania 36.
For the NXT Women's title, and 39 was the SmackDown Women's title. Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, thank you. 39 where the banger was, because
you could do the trilogy with Charlotte and Rhea if you want.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
They are the two top women stars in WWE. But if you really want to, because of the divorce, and you can I guess you can technically move Charlotte to Raw. This will be part of my video today that gets uploaded after the stream. So I'm going to touch on it very briefly, but you guys can watch the video when it goes up. The brand split to me at this stage. It like they said the transfer window closes the Royal Rumble weekend, but then there's really been no mention of it.
They weren't going to mention that. So
with Andrade and Charlotte's news, maybe you see somebody get moved around. Plus there's rumors of AJ Styles in the coming weeks going to Raw. So that's going to be on my video that you guys will see on the channel after we're live. But just kind of mentioning that, I wanted to kind of point that out. Maybe the brand split actually is dead. And if they want to go with Charlotte versus Rhea, that could make a lot of sense.
Maybe they just have some limited stars on SmackDown and they have some limited stars on Raw. I mean, and you can just bounce people around. I mean, as long as you're saying the transfer window, I guess it really don't matter.
I like to listen. At least the one thing when people complain about this, and I say this in the video that's going up, but Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, anytime a Raw or SmackDown superstar crosses over, they always have a segment where they're like, "Hey, we made the call. We said we can have them on the show tonight." Yeah. So as long as they give me something like that, that's all I care about. But because you got to actually logically explain why one person from Raw is coming to SmackDown,
right? Exactly.
And they did that with Nia coming to Raw and stuff.
Exactly.
However, what I would say is this though. David Decker mentioned in the chat. So one thing that I'll point out is move Andrade to Raw. Obviously, you have an Intercontinental Championship picture, which is absolutely on fire. Andrade being in that picture. I would like to see him obviously with the U.S. title too. But if you are gonna move somebody around, Andrade is the perfect person to move to Raw because then you have the Penta, Braun Breaker, Sheamus, Ludwig Kaiser
championship. You get that 6-man for the title.
Yeah, you got some crazy heat right there. So. That's just something to keep in mind. Shout out to Russell Cummins for the $5 USD super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you. That was the first one ever from him on the channel, so really appreciate that.
Big shout out, Russell.
I want to talk a little bit more about WWE Evolve, Billy.
Yeah, let's have a conversation about it. Wednesday nights,
8 p.m. WWE announced it. We spoke about this on the stream when they announced it at the Royal Rumble. Now we have some more details. NIL talent and WWE ID talent will have a place to work, with an opportunity to get called up to NXT and then eventually, hopefully, from NXT to Raw or SmackDown.
Yep.
What I love about this, there's a couple things that I love, and there's a couple things that I dislike. Okay. The first thing that I love, first and foremost, we'll go one by one and you'll react to it.
For sure.
The first one that I love about this is that WWE is putting a bunch of developmental, a bunch of indie talent, and a bunch of NIL talent against AEW Dynamite. That's the first thing I love. What is your reaction?
I mean, yeah, I'm a fan of it. I like it. I like the idea of Evolve. So, and I like that they're doing that up against AEW because it's going to be really telling about AEW.
Yeah.
Continue. I need more.
Yeah. The second thing that I love about it is they landed a TV deal for the show.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on the Tubi streaming app, which has almost 100 million users. It's completely free. You don't even need to register to use it. You can watch it on pretty much any platform.
It's on my TV.
So I love the fact that they got a TV deal, one that, as you know, we have talked about in the past. I would have loved for ROH to be on Tubi.
Yeah.
AEW wasn't able to get that done. WWE was.
Mhm.
What's your reaction of the news that they landed a TV deal for a show that hasn't aired yet?
It sounds like WWE is trying to take over the market of independent wrestling.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're doing that with this because it's allowing independent and NIL stars to come in and wrestle. I think it's awesome that these guys, like you said, it's in so many homes, right? Like I know if you buy like a TV from Walmart, right? Like one of the on TVs at Walmart's brand, it automatically comes on the TV.
Really?
Yes. It's
pre-installed. Okay.
It's pre-installed. So it's like, wow, that's genius. Now, how many people actually use Tubi on a daily basis? That'll be telling, right? Because I know for me personally, like I never open Tubi. You know what I'm saying?
So here's what's interesting. Let me respond to that for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I always knew what Tubi was. And one thing that was really interesting to me about Tubi was one time I was Googling a movie, and it was an older movie from the 90s. And I Googled, I'm like, where to stream it?
Tubi,
and
yes, I've had that same thing where Tubi would pop up.
Yes. So what ended up happening, I use a Google TV 4K and an Apple TV 4K for my smart TV stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what was really interesting was there was that movie that I was looking for. And sometimes what I'll do, like if I'm having like date night with a lady, like watching a movie or something, like I'll just pay for the rental because, you know, Google or Apple, you could rent it from their stuff. And I remember with this specific movie, and it's really pissing me off that I can't remember what it was. I was looking for it, and the only place that I could rent it from was Amazon Prime, where you could pay like $7.99 to rent it. You get it for 30 days.
I had the same exact situation.
Yeah. And then what was crazy was on Google, it said it was on Tubi. So I downloaded Tubi. I didn't have to make an account or anything. I literally looked for the movie and it was right there. So I saved myself $8 and I didn't have to get spammed by emails. I didn't have to do any of that. Granted, there was ads, which is normal. But it was kind of cool having that experience. I never removed the app. One thing as well that I want to point out is Tubi will be broadcasting the Super Bowl live for free.
Will they?
Yeah, so obviously WWE is not the only thing coming to Tubi. The Super Bowl is as well.
No way, really?
Yeah. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So obviously WWE getting on Tubi, I don't know what the viewership will be like.
There's going to be use of Tubi then.
For a lot of people, there will be.
Yeah,
so obviously WWE and Tubi should be advertising this because people will sign up for Tubi.
I think WWE will advertise on the Super Bowl.
You know, I'm curious if they have a Super Bowl commercial this year.
If they do, here's the thing. If they do it for Tubi in particular, which they can, right? They're not limited to where they could put it anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they do it strictly on Tubi to promote, even if you do it for Raw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're going to see an uprise in viewership.
Yeah.
Because the Super Bowl, although I hate it and I despise it, this year in particular, it might be one of the most viewed Super Bowls of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
People are looking for that three-peat and want to see if it's actually going to take place.
Yeah. For that reason, I'm picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm picking the Eagles too. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
So another thing that I love about the WWE Evolve thing is that this officially cements NXT as the third brand.
Yes, it is no longer the developmental. I think now Tubi Evolve, right, is going to be where all the development takes place, and we're going to have to look at NXT a little more serious.
Yes.
It is now no longer for development where people are going to get quote unquote TV time that they may need or whatever, because they're now going to get that TV time, learn about the hard cam, learn about placement in the ring, all of that. They're going to learn that over on Evolve.
Yes. What I also love is that, you know, I've mentioned this a lot of times, but it's a ladder system now in WWE. Like to make it to NXT, you're not getting the massive contract, but you're going to be on the CW network. You'll be involved in storylines. You'll have the ability to cross over into TNA. But what I love so much about the NXT kind of becoming the third brand is that for some people, like Roxanne Perez will get called up to the main roster, and there's always going to be this call-up system, right? You're climbing the ladder, you're going up there.
Yeah.
But what I really love about this is NXT right now, as it stands, has kind of been back and forth between black and gold 2012, 2013 NXT, and then 2018, 2019, 2020 NXT. And there was things I liked about both, but I always sided more with the 2012, 2013 version because it was like, hey, you don't know who this person is. You get to see them on TV for the first time. We're seeing that with NXT.
Yeah.
The nice thing, though, about them doing WWE Evolve is the fact that you're going to see a lot of people who are in the independent wrestling scene working for WWE. Now, you said something earlier about WWE controlling the indies. And it's not necessarily that they're controlling the indies, but what they're doing is they're making it exceptionally hard for AEW and other brands to be able to entice somebody with an offer, because now they can go to somebody and say, listen, we want to sign you to a WWE ID contract. You still can do indies. We actually own our own indie show called Evolve. And the cool thing is it is on TV. This is where you're going to be put in storylines. You're going to learn how to work the WWE system. It's a WWE production, but you'll have storylines. And on top of that, you will have the ability to be converted from an ID or an NIL contract to an official WWE NXT contract.
That's sick.
So I think that's really cool. Now, I have a couple questions that I'm going to ask you, and then you can kind of respond to those as well.
For sure.
Do you think we'll ever get to the point where WWE Evolve goes live?
No, I don't.
Ever?
No, I don't.
I think WWE will do specials where they're live.
Sure, I think they'll do specials, but actually going live on a consistent basis, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I do believe that WWE ID at some point will go live for specials. I think they have to do what they did with TakeOver and NXT, like originally. They have to put that in. And I would just say quarterly.
Yeah, do it 4 times.
Yeah, just like quarterly live events. Do them live on Tubi if possible.
Yeah.
Brand them as special shows. The other thing I was going to ask you.
For sure.
Something that I've kind of heard, something like a little birdie kind of told me. It may not be announced yet. It may not be announced right away. But with Gabe Sapolsky running Evolve for WWE and NXT, Shawn Michaels, Triple H all having involvement in this, we know it's going to have its own stories. But one of the birdies, me specifically, that we will see championship belts in the brand at some point.
Okay.
These would be belts that they are allowed to take with them to the indie scene. Which kind of got me, it sparked a little bit of a thought, right? Imagine if you're the WWE Evolve World Champion.
Yeah.
Your price goes up a little bit in the indies.
It does. It does. Because you're attached to WWE.
Now imagine if WWE says, hey, we're going to have WWE ID versus WWE ID at Beyond Wrestling or Deadlock Pro Wrestling, for example, like another indie, right? Imagine if WWE said, we'll let you take the belt with you. Oh, by the way, you're going to do a title change on the indie scene.
Oh.
So now it kind of makes me think about WWE taking over the indies, but imagine how much better the indies would get
with that titles floating around from WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That makes the indies more exciting.
For me, it would entice me if somebody came to Detroit and it was...
Yeah, I'd go to a show.
I would easily go to a show.
A GCW show or something like that?
Yeah, or like not even GCW, because obviously GCW is part of it, but like we have XICW, we have
EPW, like you said.
We have a couple different...
There's a lot of indies that roam around.
So I like that possibility of championships coming to the show. They're obviously going to have storylines. This is replacing NXT Level Up. I don't know. Is this a 2-hour show or a 1-hour show?
I think it was a 1-hour show.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think it's only a 1-hour show. Which, if that's the case, good. I'm not mad at that. Because you could eventually do 2 hours. You just can't jump to that right away. You have to get people known with who these people are, what are they going to be doing? What are the stories that are going to be told? Eventually, you can go to 2 hours, and I think Tubi down the line will probably allow that too. But again, that's another way to potentially sell a special. Oh, we're going to do a 2 hour special.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, but I think it is only 1 hour. I think it's from 8 to 9.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I love that. Now go ahead.
No, dude, I was just gonna say I'm actually really excited for this. What day did they say? March 8th?
March 8th or March 12th or some shit like that.
I know it's around my birthday time.
When's your birthday?
March 10th.
March 10th?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yay, Billy's birthday. We'll stream on your birthday at 12 p.m.
Oh, do you want to? I think my birthday's on a Monday.
Is it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then we'll
definitely be live for it.
We'll spoil you on your birthday.
Oh, stop it. Stop.
Confetti and birthday cake.
Get out of here. The only thing I ask, guys, I'm almost to 5,300 subscribers. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm 19 away.
Nice. Let's do it, guys. Let's help them out. Another thing that I love about Evolve coming back, WWE kind of kept the branding. Yeah, it's a little bit more updated.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That logo looks beautiful. I love it. And it's kind of more out now.
Yeah.
It's more broadened.
What are your thoughts on, should Tony Khan be worried about WWE Evolve?
Listen, I think he should be worried about anything that WWE's doing.
Yeah.
If I'm be honest, knowing what NXT's done, knowing what SmackDown's done, knowing what Raw's done, I think Tony should be concerned about anything that WWE is doing. Because all it takes is one good show for people to watch. That's all it takes. And who knows? You know what I mean? It's insane. So yeah, I think he should be.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say AEW should be worried like immediately. But what I would say is that you are right in the sense that AEW should be worried about whatever WWE does. Because AEW is not really signing indie talent to their company.
No,
right now. Since WWE ID has come out, AEW hasn't signed anybody that I've seen them announce. At least,
yeah,
they've signed people that like Megan Bain's been with the company for a while, and then they just announced it. But like, I think the WWE Evolve thing could really hurt AEW if this is one of those shows where they like really just let them go out there and like do their thing.
Yeah, for sure. You know?
If Gabe Sapolsky
good wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. That's the one thing that we know about AEW is they put on really good pro wrestling matches. And if you find a solution to that, you got to ask yourself a little bit, what's really going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's intriguing to me, man. It's intriguing. I think WWE Evolve, it's up to them and their commitment on it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's really up to their commitment. But you know, the reality is that look, this is the reality. This is the truth. This is
where we are right now with WWE. WWE, no matter what people say, they're killing it right now, man.
Well, they figured out the business, and people hate the idea of big business, and I understand why people hate WWE
for sure.
But at the same time, too, it's just like people aren't really. Like I said, my big issue with the IWC has always been a consistency thing. That's how it's always been. It's how it's always going to be. The IWC, like I said, it's just very soft. Society got very soft. You know, I'm very, very, very in the mix of like, hey, like WWE wants to grow and they want to be everywhere. They're not dumb. They acknowledge that indie wrestling is very relevant in today's world. You got to have a piece of that pie. You want a piece of that pie, you got to do what you got to do, which is get involved, right? And
yeah, for sure.
You have to get involved and you have to evolve. And so
you have to evolve. Yeah, I like what you did there.
Yeah, so like yeah. You know, the thing is, like, I don't expect Evolve to have massive viewership. I don't. I really don't think so. I will be shocked if they get anything close to 500K.
Who, Evolve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm not expecting it to have the most viewership.
No. I mean, you have to take Evolve with a little bit of, like, grain of salt, right? Like, it's almost like what Rampage was going to be. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to do like.
Well, Rampage was supposed to be the equivalent of SmackDown at first.
Right. Yes, this is true. But we know what Rampage turned into, right? So I think you have to kind of look at Evolve. Let me put it in simple terms. I'm not going in with the biggest expectations for Evolve. I don't think it's going to be the cream of the crop. I don't think it's going to be, this big. I think the first day it'll be massive, right? When they first introduce it. But I think you'll see viewership drop as time goes and stuff like that,
I don't think WWE even cares about the viewership of this.
No, I don't either.
I don't think Tubi does either. I think Tubi likes it from selling advertisers. Yeah, we have WWE. We have big brands. We have the Super Bowl. We have WWE, like that kind of thing. Which that obviously makes sense.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing what happens here, man.
Me too.
I look forward to it. I will dedicate my Wednesday nights to WWE Evolve.
So will I.
1000%. I think it's really until AEW does something to pick me back up again, and I think after 5 years they've done enough to lose me. I don't think they make a significant product. I don't think Tony Khan is a good booker.
No.
I don't think Tony Khan knows how to book a wrestling show based on what I like. There was a time where all I liked was AEW, and now that's just not the way it is.
I was a heavy watcher.
Yeah, and the reality is, like, I hate to say this, but you lose me, man, and I'm the easiest wrestling fan. Like, I watch everything, man. So if you can't keep me as a wrestling fan, you've gone down the shitter. And I know that really offends a lot of people in the wrestling community that for some reason I've turned against AEW, but also at the same time too, I think the most important part is, like, it's just not for me anymore. And I think if you're offended by that, honestly, I think confidently I could tell you just go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you fucking weirdos.
Like, I don't know, like, it's just kind of weird. Like, I genuinely watched AEW for years. I put my money where my mouth is.
Dude, you're one of the shows.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to more AEW pay-per-views than WWE pay-per-views. Like, I've gone to more AEW TVs and
a lot of WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah, no, I honestly didn't. So for me, there was a lot of love with the AEW product. I don't love it anymore. And to be honest, I think a lot of people are bothered by that because they want, the reality is I've had some conversations with people within the industry, and whether people want to believe this or not, I understand I am a bigger channel. I don't believe I'm a celebrity. I don't believe I'm a massive channel. I just love talking about wrestling and talking about the things that are happening in wrestling.
You do a good job at it too, brother.
But here's the thing, Billy. Like, I've come to the point where when it comes to wrestling, there's just a certain way I like my wrestling. Vince McMahon wasn't giving it to me the way I was hoping.
No.
Tony Khan was.
Yeah.
Both guys, Vince McMahon did it a little bit and then he was inconsistent. And then there was a period where AEW was doing it very consistently, and now they've gotten to the point where it's very, very inconsistent. And listen, I think until AEW makes a massive change to their programming and their storylines, I don't really care who's on their roster. Until they get to the point where they put on some really good TV, I can no longer watch it.
Yeah, man. It's just be consistent again.
And that company is not good, and it's embarrassing to have the world's best talent and to be able to put out the product that you're putting, it's garbage. And, at least for me, what's enticing to me about WWE Evolve is that I went through the phase of watching Florida Championship Wrestling, and there was things I loved about that. There was something about watching Liaki coming into the ring and being like, ooh, this guy might be a future WWE star. No, fuck that. He's going to be a main eventer.
Yeah.
And then being able to watch that and talking about it on YouTube, and then years later, you see him go through NXT, and then you go through, Raw, SmackDown, WrestleMania. Like, that's a beautiful thing to watch, and I love that. I love watching people. It's like when I was watching Sol Ruka on WWE Level Up. Like, ooh, she hit the Soul Snatcher or whatever it's called. And like
finisher.
Yeah, like coldest finisher. I'm like, damn, I like this shit. And WWE Evolve really wasn't that good of a product, but it was cool to watch prospects.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're replacing that with an indie show that's basically going to have storylines and potentially championships, and then, they're going to climb the ranks of WWE. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to choose that every single time because I like watching the future of our business. This is the same reason why I enjoyed watching, GCW and stuff like that, and MLW and NWA and TNA, and I love that. And listen, man, like I see it all, bro. But
Sure.
I think with the wrestling world, there's people that are going to love WWE. There's going to be people that hate WWE. And then there's going to be mad at people that enjoy WWE. Like I see Michael in the chat. He's been going off all night. I think Michael is very angry for some reason. And that's fine.
Michael, are you okay, brother?
Like, it's okay, man. Like you could be a little bit angry with Ango because you don't agree with me and you think you're right. But I don't love being right or wrong. I just love being myself and having my own opinions and my own thoughts. And I think the IWC really hates people like that. I think the IWC really hates that they can't think for themselves and they have to listen to other people. And
people aren't allowed to have opinions anymore.
No, but it's okay because if you watch wrestling today, a lot of the things I say is that, we could point out specifics. I can. That's the beautiful about video content is that you can go back and listen and see what people were saying before. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was very, very clear, like, especially with you, Billy, like it used to aggravate me sometimes to see how much you would ride for AEW because you would ride for AEW at times where you would defend them from things. And I'm like, but it doesn't make sense. So there would be times where you would kind of like hate on WWE, but then love when AEW does it. And I'd be like, Billy, that doesn't make sense because WWE is doing it this way. And it's not about defending companies, but it would be about one of those things where I'm like, hold on, like, bro, like, do you even know what you're saying? And then I think what ended up happening was eventually it came to you to the point where you're like, man, like you were right. You said all these things.
I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
For sure. And so that's the beauty about professional wrestling though, is having these conversations about things. Mm-hmm. Because you learn, you see, you analyze, you get to this point, where you see how things unfold. I think the saddest part though has really been that people view opinions as fact.
Yes.
And I think that's crazy. And my opinions are subjective. Your opinions are subjective.
Always have been.
But when people say, oh, this isn't true, well, that's an opinion. So you can't deem that as true or false. But if I show you numbers or statistics or a drop off in merchandise sales or something like that, you have to accept what it is.
Yes, because there are some things that are deemed factual.
So do you remember that time where WWE, I remember a couple years ago, Elias, he was Elias back then.
Yeah.
And then he did the whole thing with Ezekiel and stuff.
Yeah.
With Kevin Owens. And there was a time I remember we were doing a live stream and we were talking about it, but I don't know if you remember specifically, or I was like, that's like the only thing I really liked about the show.
Yeah.
It was logical, right?
It was logical, right.
Everything else on the show was like rematches and DQ finishes, and it was just like some crazy.
Didn't they like bring Elias back from the dead or something like that?
They brought him back. They did they bring the
Or no, it was that he died, and then Ezekiel was playing Ezekiel, and everybody was like, "No, bro!" Like Kevin Owens, he was like, "No, bro! Like I know who you are."
Yeah, but then they did the whole thing where Vince decided to have them sit down together, Elias and Ezekiel.
Yes, and they put them next to each other.
But I remember we were talking about this shit, and I was like, "Oh, I loved it." And you're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because it's funny and it makes sense." Like, but it was funny because I remember at the time people were like, "This is really bad." Well, I would say 90% of that episode was really bad, but there was a few good things about it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, at least I was watching something and I was looking at it from a perspective of like, I like this. I remember a lot of people are like, "That's
enjoyment out of something."
Well, it's just like it goes back in time though. Like Vince McMahon had some good ideas on TV, and not everything connected for everybody. But guess what? No matter what anybody could say, even WWE wasn't that successful at that time. But guess what? They were still beating AEW.
Yeah. And
I would point that out. I'm like, if you guys think this is bad, then why isn't AEW coming close to WWE? Why isn't AEW, people forget, bro.
It was always for the casuals.
It's just crazy, and listen, I think for me, it's, I love statistics. I love analytics. That's the way I'm bred. Because I think with wrestling in general, or just anything in life, I think people are scared of facts. I think people are definitely intimidated by facts. People hate when they're in the wrong. I think people genuinely hate when the facts don't.
Yeah, nobody wants to be wrong, dude. We all want to be right. It's just how this, especially wrestling, right? It's just how it goes. People want their opinions to turn into facts.
Oh,
And then they get upset when they don't. And they have a bitch fit.
interesting. I look forward to WWE Evolve. I look forward to seeing if WWE can do it again. They already got to where NXT is massacring AEW.
Literally.
Like this year, well, not just this year, but in 2024, I mean, NXT was smoking AEW.
And they're, you see it, they are.
Crazy.
Real fast, did you see, I forgot to mention this the other day because it's already been happened, but that promo package between Kevin and Cody, I just have to say, we had a conversation about punk music coming back to pro wrestling, and they used Papa Roach's song for this promo package. And I just want to say that it felt amazing to listen to it and see it. It was beautiful.
To me, the whole music argument, everybody can fight about that if they want. Yeah, that's up to them. I think for me personally, I listen to Albanian music, so I don't really give a rat's ass.
See, for me, I always just enjoyed it, and hearing Papa Roach over this, I thought it made it a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's an argument that can go on forever and ever.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why when people argue about the music, it's I don't really care.
That's shit that can go on forever and ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I listen to Albanian music, so
Whatever.
It is what it is, brother.
Something I thought I'd bring up and I'd mention.
Yeah. Well, Billy.
Ango.
1:40 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Where can everybody find you?
Over on YouTube, Billy TKO. You can also find me on TikTok at Billy TKO. Guys, I'm 19 subscribers away from 5,300. Can we get me there? That's all I want for my birthday.
Let's get them there, guys. Let's get them there. Shout out to everybody who watched today. Like I said earlier in the stream, I see a lot of outspoken people in the chat. I love it. The chat's been booming.
It's beautiful.
So shout out to everybody who's been there. Whether you love us, hate us, it doesn't really matter. I thank you for watching.
Thank you for being with us.
You will see. Oh, Justin dropped a super chat.
Oh. Uh-oh. Justin.
Where?
Justin, we're going to find it.
I didn't see Justin's super chat.
Did we miss it?
I'm looking.
Evan, my boy. Let's go.
Bro, this is happening sometimes where I can't see super chats all the time. So let me see.
If we can look on YouTube.
Yeah, let me go back into the YouTube dashboard. He did drop one.
I know earlier, and we read one of them.
Oh, this is when I was using the bathroom.
Oh, Kevin, that's my fault.
Okay, hold on.
I can't pull it up.
Found it.
Boom.
Sorry about that, Justin. If anybody has last minute super chats, go ahead and get them up now while we finish off, because we'll address these before we go. Justin says for $4.99, he goes, I want to see a fatal 5-way match for the WWE title at Mania. Drew versus Punk versus Seth versus Roman versus Cody. Dude, honestly, I think this would be sick.
I think you get a fatal 4-way at the very least.
You know, the thing is, if The Rock isn't showing up, then why not? And listen. Hey, listen, you know what? If Drew versus Damian was the plan, then freaking put Damian Priest in this match too.
This is where my John Cena story, I think, comes in and it makes sense.
You think so?
Yes, I think this is why. If you eliminate Drew and you let Drew go do his thing, I don't think you have to have a fatal 5-way, but at the very least, a fatal 4-way. I think there's so much built up anger, animosity, pissed off, hatred, whatever, within those 4 guys alone, that you could sell that no problem. That is so main event worthy. And that's why I think you don't have to have Cody versus Cena. And you let Cena and Jay go do what they're doing.
I think it's very easy for us to confirm that probably WWE won't do a multi-man match for the World Championship.
I don't think they will.
Because I think they love the marquee singles match WrestleMania Night 2. It wouldn't be a bad time for Jey Uso versus Gunther to main event Night 2, though. You want to send home the crowd happy. If Cody's going to drop the belt, having him drop the belt in a multi-man match could make a lot of sense. However, it can't be Drew versus Punk versus Seth versus Roman versus Cody. I think John Cena has to be involved in the mix. And for sure, John Cena has to be involved in the mix. This is why I hate the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, though, because it would be a lot better if they had Elimination Chamber as just a match type at WrestleMania. I don't think this will happen, but I would love to see it happen.
For sure.
And honestly, it would be much better if John Cena was involved. Or you can put Damian Priest in there as well. Who knows? I
don't know, man. I don't know. I don't hate it, though.
I definitely don't hate it. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No.
Kevin Schiffman says in a Hell in a Cell. I just saw that comment.
Fire.
Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. They just did Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood.
They did, and they did it at 39 with Edge and Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Who knows? I know there will be some type of stipulation match probably at WrestleMania that takes place.
But if you're doing a multi-man match for the World Championship or WWE Championship, would you still do a multi-man match for the IC?
That's what I was going to say. I don't think you do it then.
That's where you got to do the IC title multi-man ladder match. And then
you find out your marquee matches.
Yeah.
And you work out those kinks.
I could see Punk versus Seth versus Roman.
That's what I thought. A triple threat makes sense. Just because if you look at how Punk looked at Roman versus how Rollins looked at Roman or Roman looked at Punk, because Roman said something on the ground in that he said, dude, we partnered up. How could you do this?
They can always do something where night one, it's Punk versus Seth versus Roman, and then winner versus Cody at Mania.
Yeah, for sure. Night two. You get 2 nights.
Or no, I'll just keep it at that.
Yeah.
I'll keep it at that. Thank you, Justin, for that super chat, buddy. I didn't even see it, so I apologize for that. Russell Cummins just dropped his second super chat ever on the Ango Show Live.
Ooh, let's go.
$5 USD says, should AEW book most winners for all in wrestlers from Texas? You know, all in Texas, I'm sure Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara will be doing a tag team match, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The thing that I hate about pro wrestling, and I hate this within WWE too, just because they're from a certain town doesn't mean they have to win the match.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So
it's true. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Tolino Channel, he sent a super chat, he said too.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Some of these are not notifying me, so I apologize. I'm thinking it's from when I took my little break.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna look for it.
Oh, I see it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm looking. Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
But back to this super chat really quick. So, should AEW book most winners for all in wrestling? Yeah. I think AEW, personally speaking, I want them to make the best possible choice, and if that person's from Texas, do it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You don't give people wins because they're from a certain city. You give people wins because that's what makes sense
based on the story, right?
And I think sometimes in wrestling, Vince McMahon was notorious for not giving a fuck.
Did not care.
He did not care about that shit. Triple H, obviously, he had Zelina Vega in Puerto Rico against Rhea Ripley, and that was a great match for Backlash, Puerto Rico. But Zelina didn't win. So
didn't she hit her with a chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, like, for me personally, though, it's like it matters what the story is.
For sure.
But Vince McMahon was notorious for not giving a fuck. I remember in Boston, Mercedes Sasha, she lost.
Yeah, bro.
They're like, bro, she's from fucking Mercedes. Like, she's from Boston. I'm like, yeah, but it's not
Doesn't matter.
It's whatever. I think you got to do whatever is best for the story. If it's best for the story, then do it. Like,
Right.
for example, I don't know everywhere that people originate from, like where they're from in AEW. But for example, like All in Texas, I'll just say like as an example, I don't even think he's from Texas, but let's just say Hangman Page is a top babyface going against Moxley, All in Texas for the World Championship. You do it because it's not only going to get the biggest reaction, but it would make the most sense and it would save everybody from the Death Rider piece of shit storyline.
Oh God, please, we got.
So the place would erupt.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Shout out to Russell Cummins for that super chat. Toledo Channel, I found your super chat. I think Cardona going to WWE now is good. He is the king of indies, but he hasn't been loyal to a single company. Drew and Knight stayed in TNA as world champions. I mean, listen, Matt Cardona should be in WWE.
Yeah, for sure. He's done enough work on the indies. That guy, he did the Cody, right? He pulled the Cody.
He pulled the Cody. He pulled the Drew. I think Matt Cardona should not only be in WWE or AEW, he should be on TV.
Yeah, he deserves to be on TV.
I don't know how Cardona didn't land a deal with AEW, and maybe he just doesn't want to be in AEW.
Yeah, I mean, considering his wife is in WWE, he probably wants to be. All his friends are in WWE.
He's also a very good content creator, and he does his podcast stuff and the toy stuff and the conventions. I think Matt Cardona has figured out.
He's making money with or without any of these companies.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, gotta respect. Hey, game respects game.
Yeah.
When you figure this out, you're good.
I think a lot of wrestlers, if they were smart, they did the Matt Cardona thing because that keeps the indies thriving. But it's just a matter of people doing it. I think some people get it, some people don't, which is the problem.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Oh.
Yeah, man. Wild. Absolutely wild.
Very. What a stream.
Yeah, what a stream, dude. That was fun. We started off really, really hot, too. My boy was a little hyper. Just a teeny weeny little bit.
Yeah, shit happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude the February 3rd episode of the Ango Show. Just a quick reminder. I don't know for sure if it will be tomorrow or Wednesday, but we will have a call-in system. Yep. So there will be like a tiered super chat.
So like a phone number that people can call in?
Yes, but it will basically what's going to happen is it's going to be tied into super chats, I think. But a certain number of super chats. I forgot how it's going to work. I got to look at it. The details aren't 100% there. But the idea that somebody will be able to actually chill and join and call in, even better if they have like an iPhone and they could go on camera.
Yeah,
we'll have that opportunity as well, and it's going to be really fun because I think the best shows are the ones that are most engaging with fans' responses.
Yeah,
and I think it'll be really fun to have that call-in system for sure. The big challenge with call-ins that I've had before when I did them, and that's why we got to fit. There's got to be a process for it a little bit better. Is that sometimes calls can take very long and then it takes away from the rest of the show.
Yeah, maybe give like a time limit on the call or something like that. People get their point across and, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So there's going to be a system for that.
Fun to engage a little bit more.
Yeah. So that's going to happen. My audio quality will be back to normal probably either tomorrow or Wednesday.
We'll bring back the Shure SM7B.
Yeah. Billy, your audio was actually pretty nice today too.
Oh, dude, thank you. Did
you plug it into the Zoom thing?
Yeah, I have the PodTrack P8. And this thing, I can listen, this thing takes phone calls too. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. You do. I don't.
Yeah. Please keep using that because you sounded beautiful. Your voice was...
Dude, thank you. We'll see. I know tomorrow I'm going to, I'll be live we'll be live while I'm at work. So I'm going to bring the road with me, though.
Yeah. Committed to the grind, baby. I love it.
Dude, what can I say? I love doing it.
Shout out to Billy pulling up. And shout out to everybody making this such a fun show. Just a quick thing that I want to mention. Saturday's live stream had over 1,000 viewers.
Dude, that was crazy.
I genuinely hope we get to the point where we can build this up. Where Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. we can get to 1,000 viewers. We had a little bit over 400 today.
Viewership is going up.
viewership has gone up significantly, but the thing that's been most impressive is the average view duration, the amount of minutes watched, and the amount of viewership that's coming from this has all increased significantly. So I appreciate everybody for like just showing love and being engaging. And whether you like us or hate us, we're always here. We're always going to be doing our thing. We're always going to be engaged with people. I just want to shout out some people in the chat. Kevin Schiffman. He's a member on the channel. Kevin, he's pulled up. I see you in the chat rocking out. David Decker, Chester Franklin.
On the channel right now.
Yes. That's what I like to hear. Also, shout out to Mike. He's our mod in the chat. He's awesome. I see him contributing a lot to the chat. You guys are having great convos.
Yes.
Michael, Stefan, you're a hater, but I'm going to show you some love because whether you love us or hate us, I appreciate the engagement and I appreciate you coming through. Not everybody's going to agree or disagree.
Nope.
You could be disappointed. You could hate me. You could love me. It doesn't really matter, my friend. But what does matter is the fact that, we are having a great talk show. And then also Darth Bane, another member of the channel, shout out to you as well. Laws was in the chat earlier. So shout out to Laws, Justin Kennington, Polino Channel, Russell Cummins. Thank you guys. Myra, thank you for your super chat earlier as well. Steve Cosenza, I see you in the chat too, man. So I appreciate that. And everybody, Bonkers LFC, Trey Lusado, Kasib, Hassan, like crazy. Tony Karan, shout out to you.
Man.
I just want to show you guys some love. You guys are all making this a part of
fun.
Yeah, this is all fun and stuff, and I appreciate it. Justo Alvarez and True Flight and Michael Cass and Rockstar 92. So many people, man. Just shout out to all of you guys. Like I said, whether you love us, hate us, whatever it may be, appreciate you guys for making this an engaging channel, an engaging show. We will be back live tomorrow, 12 p.m. And yeah, man.
On Monday Night Raw, baby.
Yeah. Raw's tonight.
Yep.
What else? What's supposed to happen on Raw? I don't know.
Jey Uso showing up.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair will be there as well.
Who will? Charlotte Flair, yeah.
Yeah. So those two things are confirmed. Adam Pearce confirmed.
Cool. So hopefully it's a good episode of Raw. I hope so.
It should be.
Billy, how long will Raw be tonight?
Oh yeah, let's do it. 2:39. Write it down. Note it.
Let's have some fun with this.
What are you saying?
I'm saying 2 hours and 47 minutes.
I'm saying 2:39. 2 hours and 39 minutes, man.
Just 8 minute apart difference. Yeah. I love this though. This is fun because we're probably both wrong. Obviously, it's very, very hard.
It's gonna be like 2:52. It's gonna be some weird ass number.
The second episode was off by 3 minutes.
Yeah, because I think you said 2:47. It was literally like 2:45 on the dot or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh man, Russell put 2:30 in the chat.
Okay.
So we'll see. I think that's the intriguing part about Raw. It's the Raw after Royal Rumble, and I feel like they're trying to kick off WrestleMania season. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with Seth and with everybody, like it's going to be a big episode. Hopefully, I hope
sure
they have something big. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Ango Show. Thank you all for pulling up. We will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. or 12 p.m.
12 p.m.
Jeez, I'm so bad at this. See you guys. Peace.